This is Giselle Aguiar, and in my first AI search video, I introduced you to the AI answer engines and did an overview of how it all works together. In this video, I'll explain in more detail how AI-powered search engines or the AI answer tools or the chatbots have changed the way people search and how you need to structure your content so that they and Google can find, index, and cite it. But we can't forget the potential customer. So if you missed the first video, the link to it is in the description below. So for those of you who don't know me, I celebrated 30 years of digital marketing. Yes, I started in 1995, and that's a flashback picture of me. I remember when both Google and Yahoo were both born as ways to index websites so people could easily find information. My job back then was to create websites and make sure that they were indexed in Google and Yahoo and the bevy of other lists and directories that existed back then. The objective was to be found when a World Wide Web surfer was looking for what your business had to offer. And we called it surfing the web back then. Well, let's review your strategic recipe for success if you haven't, if it's been a while since you've watched one of my videos. So you want to be a trustworthy content magnet for the robots. Then strategically share that content on social media where your posts can be found and cited by the AI search bots and potential clients too. So content plus social media um, give that the AI search bots can cite, which will lead to traffic to your website. So the people will eventually get to your website. So at that point, your website should be set up to capture leads with a great call to action. Then they have to be in some sort of email automation system to nurture them into a sale. Without strategic content and strategic social media posts, the AI bots won't find you, and neither will your potential customers, all to get those conversions. And it's still all about conversions, and that's the bottom line. Whether it's sales to an e-commerce site, getting the phone to ring, or lead generation, the purpose of all your marketing efforts is to get conversions. And conversions are still your goal. That has not changed. What has changed is how your potential customer is going to get there. How are they going to find you? So this is a basic explanation of how generative AI works. Okay, and this screenshot is from a webinar from Botify and Demand Sphere. Generative AI search pulls fresh content from traditional indexes using retrieved augmented generation or RAG, okay, which I mentioned in the last video. The user asks a question, then the bot looks for relevant fresh content. In this case, they're using Bing's engine, which is Copilot. Actually, it's ChatGPT. Notice that it says that it scrapes Google among other indexes. Then it compiles it using its machine learning and gives you the answer. So, and this is from a webinar from December by Conductor. So it's just to give you an idea. And this data is from Google AI overviews. Now you notice some of the industries, or they call them verticals, that are more popular than others for using the chat engines. And always healthcare. And I work with a health and wellness client. And one thing about health and wellness is they the people search for how to relieve their symptoms. They have a literal pain. They want to relieve of the pain. They have a symptom. What's causing it? That's what they're searching for. Um, and and it's just interesting. Now, obviously, this changes with every report, and this is again from AI overview. So ChatGPT is going to be a little bit different. Different people use different tools. Now, this is another graphic from that same webinar, and this is a statistic from Cloudflare, a major hosting and security. system. It says that bots now make up 57% of web page requests. I actually heard that there's more bots visiting websites than people. Okay, so you want to get these bots to visit your website and collect your information. That's the goal for all of this. So let's talk SERPs. What is a SERP? It's an acronym for Search Engine Results Page. Okay, and almost 50% of all SERPs are now AI overviews or AIOs. Okay, this is from Google, AI mode. Um, and here's, um, in fact, here's the AI overview that I got when I asked to verify the current stat. They're not going away. They're evolving. And um, uh, in the there'll be links to articles and videos and more information so you can dig deeper into the description, the video description. But I'm sure you've seen these AI overviews. And it's live search because it'll go looking for the answer to your question. And the thing is that it'll pick up, it wants the freshest content. So where else are people searching? So people are searching TikTok for restaurants and YouTube for tutorials, Reddit for authentic reviews, Amazon to buy products. So Google still dominates search. And again, this varies depending on which thing you go to. You know, I mean, I've seen the Google search anywhere. This one particularly is a 74%. I go to another one and it tells me it's still like at 84%. Um, you know, but Amazon is at 8%, YouTube at 4%. But you know, YouTube videos are featured prominently in Google AI overviews because obviously Google owns YouTube. So it behooves you to be on YouTube. And look for an updated YouTube video from me very soon. So subscribe so you don't miss out. Bing is still used, as is DuckDuckGo. In fact, because Google will eventually incorporate AI into all searches, people are now going over to DuckDuckGo, which claim it doesn't use AI. Okay, but it's still a search engine. All right. Content is key. You need to create original, fresh content, but now the key is with substance consistently. If you want to drive potential customers to your website, grow your following on social media, increase conversions, sales, generate leads, etc., be known as a trustworthy expert in your field or industry, and should be good quality, helpful content. Written could be blogs, articles, ebooks, white papers, visuals, videos, graphics, slideshows, webinars, infographics, ads, promos, and then audio, podcasts, interviews, etc. A video and audio podcast can become blogs simply by embedding the video or audio podcast in the blog post, then summarizing with bullet points. You can even take the transcript and that becomes your blog post. Google and the AI bots love to index text. Now with the AI tools, you can take a video and create a slideshow in seconds. And now more than ever, EAT is crucial. The EAT, EEAT, was created by Google, but the AI answer engines have added more to what they're looking for. The folks at CaliCube added an N and the second T to bolster credibility signals humans send to their audience in Google. Now, so first we have notability. CaliCube defines notability as having enough impact in a particular field for a specific audience to warrant recognition. Then experience. Now, this is something AI can't provide. It's your personal experience on a subject. So demonstrate firsthand knowledge and practical involvement with the topic. Then expertise, possessing a high level of knowledge or skill in a particular field or industry. Authority. A new key phrase is entity or topical authority. Okay. Can this information be trusted? Are you a trusted source? Are you legit? Remember this, it's important. This is what both Google and the AI bots look for, as well as potential customers. In fact, this is a huge issue right now. The searcher doesn't know who to trust. Trustworthiness. Okay, and that's the key. Who do you trust? Who do you trust? The reliability and accuracy and safety of the content, the site, the author. Okay. Then we have transparency. That's the final T here. Now, the transparency comes in. That means you have to be transparent in your about page on your website, on your social media profiles. No more hiding behind avatars and fake names. If you're legit, you need to show who's behind the brand. And ultimately, it's about getting your expertise out there to become the authority. Authority is no longer a score, it's a presence. Okay, it's a presence. And it all goes together. Okay. And you need to think, do you want to promote your business brand or your personal brand? Are you the authority? Are you the expert? So that comes into a question that you need to figure out. So you need to put out unique, helpful, original content. So good quality content needs to be unique and of interest to your target market. So what do you write about? You can write blogs about your expertise and experience. Comment on trends and industry news. Interviews, expert commentaries, testimonials, stories, hypothetical situations, more stories. Don't let this happen to you. Reviews of review products, books, etc. Anything that's relevant to your business. Benefits, advice. Okay, frequently asked questions. Every business has frequently asked questions. But now don't put them all on one page. Each one should be a blog post, and every page, like of your service or your products, should have frequently asked questions relating to that particular topic or that entity. Okay, and, and then original research. Okay, so if you've been in business for a while, you can do original research. If you've been in an industry for a while, you can pull original reports, original research. Um, when you create um, genuinely novel data, an industry benchmark, a proprietary survey, original research, other publishers reference it naturally, journalists cite it, and AI systems incorporate it into answers. Establish yourself as the source for the benchmark data in your niche, and you'll earn citations for years. Basically, create original content that AI can't replicate, like deep expertise, physical craft, unique personal judgment, content with substance. And that goes for your social media posts too. So, does AI understand you? So, here's a quote from Jason Barnard in Search Engine Land. Build a digital footprint that helps AI understand your expertise, recognize your credibility, and recommend your brand. AI forms opinions about your brand from what it can see online. That's your digital footprint. The problem is that AI often sees only fragments of your business. It sees your websites, content reviews, and mentions, but much of the expertise, customer insight, and operational knowledge that makes your business valuable never makes it into the digital footprint. So from ranking to consensus. So AI search rewards brands that show up consistently across trusted sources. You could be ranking number one on Google and still be invisible. A potential customer opens ChatGPT or Perplexity and asks, what's the best, whatever, for this? Your competitor gets mentioned and you don't. Your number one ranking did absolutely nothing to help you. Buying decisions are increasingly shaped by interactions that happen before a prospect ever reaches a website. So LLMs, or the large language model, the AI chatbots, Combine consensus, harmony, and like-mindedness across multiple sources rather than relying on a single source. This means you need corroborating mentions, posts, articles distributed across the web. The game has shifted from ranking to consensus. In other words, you can't just throw stuff out there without a strategy and a plan. Search is moving into an agentic era where bots may become the primary source of web page requests. That may increase the importance of making content machine readable, authoritative, and easy for the AI systems to interpret. AI agents browse differently. Um, it's been warned that AI agents can generate far more web activity than humans because they gather information differently. A person shopping online might visit 5 sites. An AI agent can visit thousands, creating real traffic and real server load without the same clicks, ad views, or customer relationships that websites have relied on. And buying decisions are increasingly shaped by interactions that happen before a prospect ever reaches a website. So this is an infographic from Amelia Moeller on LinkedIn, and there'll be a link to this in the description. So traditional SEO has clear logic: rank high, get clicks, drive traffic. It's in this retrieval-based system, Google found pages and users choose which ones to visit. Now, don't get me wrong, SEO is still going on. Google still has a high percentage of all searches. It's still the highest tool, used. Okay, um, but AI driven search doesn't work that way. Systems like Google's AI overviews, ChatGPT, and Perplexity are now constructing answers. They pull from dozens of sources, identify which claims appear consistently across credible publishers, and synthesize a single response. Your goal isn't just to publish a great page, it's to be one of those sources repeatedly. Shift your focus from publishing on your own site just for Google and instead build an audience and influence on platforms you don't own, like social media or community spaces. Assess your own skills. Identify close to 35% of your work that AI cannot automate and build your long-term value around that. So part of your research is checking out your competition. What are they doing online? Okay, where do they come up in Google search compared to you? Where do they come up in AI search compared to you? Keywords and phrases. So when you do a search, you want to look at the top 3 spots. I used to tell people you got to look at the top 10 spots. Now it's the top 3 spots. No, it goes down to number 10. See what you need to do to knock them down and put yourself above them. Okay. Are they active on social media? Where? How often are they blogging and posting? When was their last post? I looked at somebody's social media and the last post was in 2022. Okay, not good. You have to do more than what they're doing and better. So, depending on your industry, you may have some formidable competitors, and that will take a little extra strategizing. The AI tools can help with that. Multi channel marketing. Depending on where your competition is, then you need to be there too. So, you want to show off your expertise. LinkedIn, okay, and I just did a LinkedIn video. The link is in the, you can look on my YouTube channel, and the link to it will be in the description. Because LinkedIn is coming up um, in the top 5 results for being cited resources. Facebook and Instagram, they're picking up stuff from there too. Quora, it's a Q&A site. Answer the question, then add a link to an article or a video on your website. for more information, but be careful to vary your answers, otherwise you'll be flagged as spam. That was what I was doing. They were asking the same question, so I just copy pasted the same answer. Nope, that's spam. Okay, so you've got to get creative there. Then there's a service called Connect, Connectively. Now, this is where Harrow went to help a reporter out. It was bought by the people who do Connectively. So for free, you get to write 3 articles a month, and they're short articles answering a question or a reporter's request. And you just set up your account there, and you can do. And you set up your account. You tell them what your expertise, what topics are, and then they'll send you an email every day with topics, and what people are looking for in your topic of expertise. Then there's guest posting on related blog or site, um, podcast appearances, expert citations. Distribute your authority across the web. More than links, digital PR is now about narrative control. That's press coverage, or digital PR. Then associations, membership directories, and community websites. So, if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, here in Arizona, we have another organization called Local First Arizona, and also trade associations. These are directories with links and offer to write articles for them. Hey, these people are always looking for content. Local magazines, community websites, things like that. So, even if your target market isn't local and you want to go global, but you start locally. Um, and Social media profiles. So your social content contributes to the AI answers. And being mentioned repeatedly on the same domain doesn't build consensus. Being mentioned across a range of credible independent publishers do. Diversity tells AI systems your authority isn't contained to one corner of the web, it's recognized broadly across your industry. And then Reddit and Quora and niche forums are becoming major consensus signals. AI systems increasingly pull from community discussions because they represent real user options and experiences. So let's talk about Reddit. A consumer study came out with some interesting findings. Okay, 47% find traditional search results irrelevant during product research. Consumers are increasingly abandoning traditional search engines for community-based product research. Reddit claims peer recommendations are gaining more trust than influencer marketing and paid advertising. Community discussions are becoming more influential in consumer purchase decisions. 42% of social media users value Reddit recommendations over other sources, including influencer sponsored posts, branded ads, and even some expert reviews. 6 Reddit posts are said to match the reach of an Instagram influencer with 100,000 followers. Speed. Due to high traffic and frequent updates, Google crawls popular sites like Reddit, which has very high authority, exceptionally fast. New popular posts can appear in Google search results within hours. So Reddit launch, think of it this way, Reddit users are real people, not paid influencers. Reddit launched in June of 2005. Personally, I never understood Reddit, and in the 14 years plus I've been in business, only one person told me that they found me on Reddit, where someone recommended my services. But here's the kicker. Some time ago, Google started indexing Reddit posts, and they come up at the top of search. Now, I have a client who does hiking tours of the slot canyons in North Arizona. And we were doing her website, and I went to her Google Analytics to see where people were coming from into her website, who was bringing in traffic. And Reddit showed up right just underneath the Google search engines. And I go, hmm. And it makes a lot of sense because she's a travel destination. She's a hiking destination. So you have the hiking enthusiasts. You have subreddits for hiking Arizona. Another one for hiking adventures. And new hikes to try. So and she was being mentioned. Because her location is unique. You don't have it in many other states. And she has a really good different types of hikes. So I told her you need to have a presence on Reddit. Okay, so you want to set up your account with um, with branding and then answer questions. That's all you're going to do. You're going to answer questions. That's it. So with over 1 billion posts, 60 plus billion comments, Reddit has 76 million daily active users who spend an average of 16 minutes on the site per day. About 1 million posts are added to Reddit each day. More than 100,000 active communities, or those are called subreddits, like I just mentioned. And it's communities like Facebook and LinkedIn groups. So this is a trick of how to avoid being banned. Okay, no fighting. Don't talk pricing. Don't try to sell anything or drop links. Provide value, advice, and your expertise. Don't hide where you're from. Okay. So don't just drop links in Reddit threads. Be honest and transparent. Answer questions. Contribute knowledge. Build a reputation where your audience already hangs out. Okay, each of the social networks has its own internal search engine that rivals Google. It's important that you fill out your about section, bios, and keyword-centered descriptions of what you have to offer. Avoid flowery language, especially on X, Instagram, and Pinterest, where you only have 160 characters. Facebook gives you a lot of space, as does LinkedIn. Take advantage of it. So the latest news now is Facebook or Meta is now having their search being AI powered. LinkedIn is also rolling out AI powered search, which means that people can actually ask questions on Facebook or on LinkedIn for what they need. Okay, so that means that means you need to put more information in your posts, not just your bio, but your posts. Okay, so for instance, here's an example on LinkedIn. So this is an infographic that I created using Notebook LM, and it was based on an article that I had already written. So I just uploaded the article, and it took me a while to get it to make sense with the numbers and so forth. But it's pretty good. Now, so on LinkedIn and on Facebook too, you can do long form content. You use a graphic or an infographic, then put 3 or 4 paragraphs copied from the blog article on your site. So you're going to write the blog article first on your website, then create an infographic, and then we're going to post it on LinkedIn. So use emojis, okay? 3 to 5 topical hashtags, and you can add several links. Okay, um, so in case you can't read it, the hook reads, most small business blogs repeat the same mistakes. One now costs them citations from AI answer engines like ChatGPT and Google AI overviews. So this is what the post looks like. So all this is my blog article, and then or the first portion of the blog article, maybe about half of it, I'd say, about half of the blog article. And then there's a link, okay? And then I also put a link in to book a call. All right, my main call to action. And so, also check out my new LinkedIn video. The link is below in the description. And I have a link to that post also. Before you start doing this, you need to clearly identify your target market niche. And you can have more than one, obviously, but if you try to reach everybody, you'll reach nobody. You can use AI tools to help you determine your best target audiences. Visit my website and download the free Define Your Target Market workbook. The link is below in the description. Now, crafting your message. Okay, you want an enticing headline, a meta description. State the question. Grab and keep their attention, the key topic, short answer, the hook. I did on that last post. So you want the first paragraph in your blog, the first two sentences of your social media post. You also, on your website, you have your meta description. Okay, the meta description is important. This is what people see before they click. Okay. Then the first 15 seconds of a video. I have a client who just put your logo in the front, and it's like, no, you can't do that. Okay, no, you need to hook them the first 15 seconds of a video. What are you covering in? Then you can throw in the logo or the splash screen or whatever, but you want to explain what it is what you're covering right then and there. The first two lines of the social media post, like I mentioned, the hook. Deliver on the headline. Answer the question more in depth. Write for your audience, okay, with the AI answer bot in mind, but your target market is still a human. Share, don't sell. Give advice. What are the benefits? Why should you do this? Then your call to action, your CTA at the end. All right. So did you know that ChatGPT became the fastest app to hit 1 billion monthly active users? Mind blowing. Okay, so here are the pros and cons of using AI. Remember, they are just tools. Some of you may remember when you were in school and had to write a term paper. You are not supposed to copy references verbatim or word for word from the encyclopedia. And for you youngsters, those were volumes of big books that we used before Wikipedia. Well, the same goes for AI. First, the pros. Okay, it saves a lot of time on research. So think of it as a research assistant. So, for instance, one of my clients was adding a page to her health and wellness site on massage therapy. All she gave me was a long list of 30 benefits. That wouldn't do. So I went to ChatGPT and entered, what is massage therapy? In a matter of seconds, less than a minute, literally, I had a rather detailed description. Wow. Another time, she gave me a detailed article to post on her blog. The problem was that one of the doctors wrote the first part and she, doing some research, wrote the second part. It was not cohesive. So I used Claude this time. I uploaded what she gave me and told Claude that I needed a 500 to 1,000 word article explaining these procedures, catered to a potential patient, formatted for the AI search box. And I had a very nice first draft in less than a minute. Now, obviously, I had to review it. I compare it to the original, making it sound like the doctor wrote it. It will improve your writing efficiency. So AI tools can help bloggers write faster and more efficiently by providing suggestions for content, grammar, and style. These tools can also automate tasks such as proofreading, editing, saving valuable time. Last year, I wanted to write a blog article for a client on the Navajo Code Talkers, and I asked Copilot, please write a 300 to 500 word article on the history of the Navajo Code Talkers of World War II. In seconds, I had exactly that. Now, I had to go through it and edit it a bit, but it was really nice. Now I could have spent a couple of hours doing the research and then sit and compose the article. With AI, I had it in less than a minute. Generate topic ideas, headlines, and more. Sometimes you don't know what to write about. You have an idea, but you can't quite pinpoint the topic or word the headline correctly. So type in a few words and the ideas come up. Cultural localization. So these are tools that can help local businesses by adapting content to suit different cultural contexts. So, and I'll talk about languages in a bit here. So SEO optimization. AI tools can analyze search trends. and suggest relevant keywords to optimize blog posts and search engines. So these tools can also provide insights into keyword competitiveness and search volume. Additionally, they can analyze websites and blog posts to provide recommendations to improve SEO, such as optimizing meta tags and headlines. So this is the cons of using AI. Though AI is evolving and the tools are improving, it's still kind of like a computer talking. And yes, articles were informative, but they sounded like a computer wrote them. They tend to use certain phrases over and over again. Okay, and AI also has no emotion, compassion, or empathy. For instance, I was writing a post on a health and wellness topic. Now, true scientific and medical studies, facts are available, but it doesn't show how a patient feels and how massage therapy can alleviate it. It has no wisdom or common sense, or or like I said, compassion or empathy. Besides sounding inhuman, AI also has no wisdom or common sense, no personal experience. You may get duplicate content. Had I taken that article verbatim as it gave it to me, I would have taken the risk that other websites out there have the same AI generated content, and that would hurt your SEO authority. As the Google search engines gives priority first to websites published with that content. Now, Google also recognizes when an article is pure AI with no human input, and that's hurting. That hurts you. And you may get AI slop, outdated or misleading information. Okay, this and it even says it. This is written by AI. We can't be wrong. It's just like, okay. Is it legal? If you are at any type of regulated business, like a law firm, financial advisor, insurance, tax accountant, investment firm, etc., the computer may spit out outdated or wrong information. Obviously, you do not want to face violations. Copyrighted content. Oh, this is still huge thing in here. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV. Okay. AI searches and index content that's already on the internet. More than likely, it's gathering copyrighted content. If you use it verbatim without editing the source or getting permission, or I'm sorry, citing the source or getting permission, it may lead to a lawsuit. Be careful. Ask the AI tool to cite the sources, but check the links. Okay, it may be going to an old website that it picked up 2 years ago. That site's no longer there. Okay, so you want to verify everything. Okay, your reputation is on the line here. Should you use it? Absolutely. You should at least try it. Nevertheless, remember you are talking to humans, your potential customers and clients, not robots. You need to tell personal stories with compassion and empathy, especially if you're trying to solve a problem or relieve a pain point. Use your brand voice. You are the expert in your field. Though the computer may spew out data and information, you still have to help your potential customer analyze it and make sense of it. Only you have your own expertise and experience. That's where NEAT comes in, and guidelines come in there. There are ways to train the AI tools to learn your brand voice. Absolutely use it for research, but add your own opinions, stories, and experience, expertise, etc. Information that AI can't replicate. Watch out for outdated statistics. Again, ask it to cite the source, then check it. You look stupid if you quote something that's years old and obsolete. Double check, triple check. They are tools. They are not perfect. Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. I tell you, you'll see that. Never, ever publish AI content without carefully reviewing and proofreading it first. Sometimes the AI slop is minute, but sometimes, but someone is bound to catch it. And that's worse because you don't want somebody with a lot of followers sh- sharing, reposting your graphic because a person's arm is disconnected or they've got six fingers or the word is wrong or or something stupid. Okay, that you do not want that. I've seen that happen to several major companies with major products, and they're used as a, they're like, don't let this happen to you kind of things. Okay, so AI tools for the right job. So Google Gemini, SEO and competitor research, excellent for that. Claude for writing blogs, and marketing messages and those hooks. Oops. ChatGPT for marketing plans. I like the way they presented it in the results. Um, Perplexity, using its Comet browser to analyze data. Notebook LM, soon to be named Gemini Notebook, to compile and analyze data to do research planning and more. And there's no limit to what you can create with Google Labs. Okay, you go to Google, you play with them for free, then upgrade with the ones you like the best. But this is where it's all going. It's all going with AI. And if you don't start using I bet you anything your competitor is. So website optimization. Okay, the search engine indexes pages. The AI answer engines cite content, most of the time link to its sources. That's why each static page and subsequent blog articles need to be written for the human reader, but optimized for or formatted for the AI agent. Part of the searchability or discoverability of a page is the structure, but it first has to load fast. Okay, if your site is slow, you'll lose the AI bot and the potential customer. Okay, um, the meta tag, the title tag, the URL are the first things the search bot sees. It's what shows on the browser tab. And don't forget the favicon, your logo. Common sense navigation, a good user experience and user interface, and clear call to action. Um, Bad UX will cause you sales. The H1 heading. So this is the second title tag on blog articles and pages. This also becomes the main title for that page. Make sure your focus keywords, phrase, or question is in the title. Then you have H2, H3, H4 subheadings. It's a hierarchy. Okay, so you want to put your major questions, major keywords in the headings, put the question you are answering in an H2 or H3 tag, and then use bullet points, easy for the human to read and the AI bots to cite. More website optimization. Text content, right for the human reader, but formatted for the AI bot. Guide the visitor to convert. Match the title and headline, no clickbait. The meta description tag, one or two sentences describe the page. It's what comes up in search. Okay, but it's what the human searcher sees on the SERP, the results page, that needs to entice them to click. One thing is ranking high on the SERP, but if no one clicks on the link, what good is it? So if you have a hosted WordPress website, they're free plugins. I like all-in-one SEO, and it helps you with optimizing not just your static pages, but your blog articles too. Graphics with descriptions in the alt text box. Blog categories, index topics. Don't use uncategorized ever. When you have a WordPress website, that is the default category. You want to go create a main category for the topic you're going to be covering on your blog and set that as your default category. If you forget to pick a category or create a category, um, you'll always have that one and never use uncategorized. Blog tags, these are relevant keywords or phrases. Okay. Internal and external links. So these are relevant links. So you have internal links. These are links to related content within your site or blog. And it tells the AI bot that there's more information on this topic on this site and also keeps the reader on your site longer. Then external links, so links to other people's related or quoted content and links to your social media profile. So share blog posts on your social media and you can share it more than once. Okay, you can have it repeat like once every 2 weeks. So if you've got different blog posts that are going, so you've always got something different being posted. Okay. Um, what you need to do to get conversions. So you need a great user experience. So streamlined navigation, secure website, fast loading, fixed errors, clear call to action, and easy contact. Deliver fresh, helpful, relevant, neat oriented content at least weekly. Show what to expect. Explainer video, okay, or infographic. Clear pricing, confidence, eliminate doubts. Special offers are powerful. Okay. This image is from a conductor webinar I attended, and it explains how you need to think like your target. The first is the persona. Okay, so who is searching? Define your target niche. That is so important. Then, what are they searching for? That's your topic of expertise. Then determine why they are searching for it. What's their pain point? What problem are they solving? What problem are they trying to solve? What problem are they trying to solve? Um, okay, let's get local. So timing is everything in local search. I just pulled up this data, and because again, one thing nice about AI is you can get information, the latest information. You used to have to be able to hunt for this stuff. So 45% of consumers utilize conversational AI tools like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Claude for local business recommendations, marking a steep behavioral shift. 46% of all Google searches have a distinct local intent. 80% of US consumers use search engines weekly to find local businesses. 32% of consumers look for local products or services daily. Real-time availability dictates when people search, as Google's algorithm heavily favors businesses that are open at the exact time of the query. 28% of local searches result in purchases within 24 hours of the query. And 98% of customers read online material about a company before physically visiting it. Brings us to the next slide. So before visiting a business, what action are you most likely to take? They're going to read reviews. They're going to visit the website. They're going to click for directions, check photos, menus, services, check Google Q&A, which is now Ask Maps, book an appointment or reservation, check social media pages, contact the business, call, chatbot, SMS, etc. And the last thing is I usually don't take any online actions. Okay. So this is some data from an overall webinar. As AI becomes a more common part of how people discover, research, and evaluate options, you'll need a broader understanding of influence and the role it plays throughout the buying process. So the organizations that adapt most effectively will combine traditional attribution data with emerging signals of visibility, consideration, recommendation, and brand discovery. The more complete picture of influence starts with recognizing that the buyer journey extends beyond the interactions analytics and platforms can easily observe. So you want to weigh your options. You might want to consider to outsource your content creation if you have the budget. The question is, how much is your time worth? Somebody asked me in a webinar I was in last week, and it says, how do you find time to do this with your, but you're working with clients and you're also go, listen, you cannot neglect your marketing. I get up at 5:30 in the morning during the week. I have to drag myself out of bed, get myself going so that I can get all the work done. And I'm recording this. It's almost 5 o'clock at night on a Friday afternoon. All right. So every business has downtime. So yes, you can do it. However, If you've got the budget, outsource it. Outsource it. The other thing is never stop learning. And please don't feel bad. Website builders make it sound easy to build a website, but don't tell you that it takes a lot more than if you build it, they will come. And there are also web developers out there who build sites but don't optimize them for search or for conversions. Thus, you can never stop learning. Besides, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So in my next video, this is part 2 of 3, I'll show you how to use AI to plan and implement your social media marketing to fix what's wrong when it's not working as you expected. So subscribe so you don't miss out. So your first step is to clearly define your target market. And I've got the workbook to help you get started. So scan the QR code or click on the link in the description to download my workbook. It'll really seriously help you. So thank you for watching and subscribe, like this video if it helped you, and we'll see you at the next one.